So here's my thought process on neuropathy. I haven't, like, when you have a neurodegenerative disease, such as neuropathy or multiple sclerosis or other, what they call benign fasciculation syndrome, which is kind of a harmless muscle twitch problem. And then you have other serious nerve conditions. Probably the most serious would be Lou Gehrig's disease. What happens is I think that there are 5 contributing factors for that. The first contributing factor would be, are you getting enough fats inside of your system? So around all of the nerves, there is this protective layer called the myelin sheath. And we want to make sure that we have all of the electrical wiring in the body insulated. So are we getting enough fats? Are you absorbing enough fats? So many digestive problems, people can't process fats. A lot of diarrhea, or the opposite, constipation, occurs. It throws off the ability to use healthy fats, and not only to protect the nerves, but to do building blocks. So number 1 cause fats. Number 2 cause not absorbing fats. Number 3 cause, I think, is chronic infection, whether it's herpes simplex 1 or 7 or 8 or Epstein-Barr virus or Lyme disease or mycoplasma, severe fungus and candida overload. Like, I think that stuff loves to eat that, basically it's like frosting on a cake. And that's what's around the nerves. And then the last one, I think, is a genetic component. I mean, kind of my feeling is that's the least common. Also kind of the hardest to treat, because now you're competing against Mother Nature. And so the nerves aren't working. So a lot of times people feel like they're walking on dirt clods or wadded up socks, or they can't tell where their feet are in relation to heel strike, mid stance, toe off, and swing. Like, they can't walk it as well. And we've got to get the chemicals out of the system as best as possible. Now, there's several different pathways and attempts to do this. So you want to put weed, seed, and feed. We want to pull out the chemicals as best as we can. Activated charcoal is really good. I love chelation therapy, which is an IV treatment. I like cilantro. I like montmorillonite clay. I like fat soluble ADEF, KPG. Even sesame seed oil. Like, there's so many things that I think are natural chelators. My favorite natural chelator is vitamin C, which is binding up with junk. So we want to throw in a bunch of stuff to weed the garden. We want to seed it with the healthy fats. And specifically, I like an animal product called neurotrophin, which is a nerve rebuilder that is really helpful for any nerve condition, but I really like it for neuropathy and super essential fatty acids. And that is basically the DNA phospholipids. That's not what the literature says. I'm just saying that it's the DNA fats that help code for the appropriate protection around the nerves. So that's the seeding component. And then the feeding component is we've got to remove the chemicals and get the transport to the areas by movement. So movement's such an important part of health. It's not just exercise. It's literally makes everything work and function better. So we want to get on a specific chemical detox, heat deprivation therapy, movement, healthy natural chelator, cilantro, peppers, radishes, garlic, onions. I think those are all beneficial. And then using more advanced things, like there's different chelating agents. And then the other thing that we like for neuropathy is we want to literally go in and reset the nerves and how those nerve things are firing. And so you want to weed, seed, feed, and then reset. I guess there are 4 different steps. I also think acupuncture is a consideration here. I've seen some really pleasing outcomes for neuropathy.